Hello, everyone. My name is Holly, and this evening we will be talking about for and against. We will first start out discussing holidays and vocabulary related to holidays, and then we will do a listening where two people will debate about a specific area of their holiday. Then we will talk about different phrases regarding opinions, and then we will practice giving opinions and agreeing and disagreeing. So that is what we will be doing this evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world. Um, Again, my name is Holly, and I will be working with you on for and against. Hello, Jaya. How are you? Hello, Carlos.
I'm fine. How are you?
Excellent. Very good, thank you. So, hi, Carlos. How are you?
Hi, Holly. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well. Yes. Yeah. So, Carlos, what's the weather like right now in Mexico?
Actually, it's kind of warm.
Is it? Is it? Okay. So the spring has finally come, huh? Or do you is it always warm in your part of Mexico?
It, Almost all the year, it's
Uh,
warm here where I live.
okay, awesome. Okay.
It,
All right.
it's
Excellent. And Jaya, how is everything? Is Oman? Is it hot right now? Is it always hot in Oman, or does it get
No,
cold?
no. From 4 to 5 months, it's very pleasant. From October to March,
Ah,
end of October to March. It's good,
uh-huh. Okay.
pleasant.
All right. Thank
Mhm.
you. Okay, excellent. And hello, Julio. How are you today?
Hello, Holly. I'm okay.
Yeah,
Resting at home.
good. It's been a while since
Did
I've
I
seen
tell
you.
you? Did I tell you that I had an injury?
Uh-uh.
That
What happened?
oh I well pretty much a bus ran over me.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I was I was in hospital for about a week and a half,
Uh-huh.
and finally I'm at home. I have 5 broken ribs. My shin
Wow.
bone is broken, and one vertebra is broken. Well, it's not broken. It's more like
Crack.
contracted,
Uh-huh.
and I have to stay. I have to rest for like 3 weeks, and I have like a special brace that I have to wear
Wow.
around my chest, and I have to just stay in bed.
Wow. I've been wondering where you were, but I just thought you were busy. So, wow. I'm so sorry. At least it could have been worse, At least you're conscious and you're alive and so forth. Did the driver see you or?
No, he didn't see me actually. He saw me like right after
Uh-huh.
after what happened, and he just took off. He just
Oh,
abandoned the bus and took off.
he left the bus?
Yeah,
He
he
got out
left
of
the
the
bus.
bus? Did he get caught?
No, he's still at large.
Oh,
So,
wow.
but I'm
Oh,
okay, and I'm going to be I'm gonna get like a full recovery.
uh-huh.
So I'm happy for that because I mean, tons of people like they even die or they just are crippled or disabled for life
Yeah,
with this kind of
exactly.
accident.
Exactly. So at
I
least
was
you're,
lucky.
yeah, sounds like it. Wow. Sorry to hear. So now, in Josue, how are you today?
Hi, very well.
Good. Excellent. And remind me, you are from Mexico as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I'm from Mexico
Wow.
City.
Okay, so we have, this is unusual to have out of four people, three people from Mexico. Now, if it were Brazil or Spain, it would be normal, but wow, there's a lot of people from Mexico today. Excellent. So you're in Mexico City, and Carlos is on the coast, and Julio, you're also on the coast, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Veracruz. It's by the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay, so are you on the other side then? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because like Carlos is in the Pacific time zone, so you're on the other side. Okay, awesome. And then Jaya is in Oman. So what time is it right now, Jaya, in Oman?
It's 9 a.m.
9
morning.
a.m. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 11 p.m. here, and is it midnight in Mexico or is it 11?
It
11,
is
yeah.
11 and 5 minutes.
Okay, so it's 11. Okay, and then where Carlos is, it's 10 p.m., right, Carlos? So
Yes, 10 p.m.
yeah, okay. I didn't realize that Mexico had two time zones, or is there more than time zones?
No, only
I
2.
Only two. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, in this lesson, we are going to go over for and against. So basically, we're going to start out talking about a specific topic and go over some vocabulary words, and then we will do a listening exercise where two people will be debating a specific topic, and we'll look at how they debate it, and then we will look at some phrases about discussing opinions, and then we will practice giving our own opinions about certain things. So that is what we will be doing. So first of all, let's start with this topic, this question. What type of holidays do you enjoy and why? Close. What type of holidays do you enjoy and why? Carlos, are you there? Hello?
Hello, hello.
Okay, yeah. So what type of holidays do you enjoy and why?
Uh, I very like the Christmas. It's a very common holiday here in Mexico,
Uh-huh.
and the New Year. Uh, and I like it. I like those holidays because it's a time to spend with the family and get together with people that you don't see for a very long time.
Uh-huh. Okay. All
Uh,
right. No, when we're talking about this day, we're actually talking about, this is British English. I'm sorry about that. And so when they're talking about holidays here, they're actually meaning vacations. So vacations, like when you travel to a travel somewhere, a city holiday or a country holiday or something like that. So, Carlos, could you tell us about the kind of vacations you enjoy?
Sorry, Holly, I can hear you. My connection went a little bit slow.
Oh, okay. Okay, and Josue, how about you? What kind of vacations do you enjoy, and why?
I think it's this kind of a spring break that we are just having just around the corner. And I think it's quite a fun because you can just go to the beach and get tons a little bit and I don't know, just share a little bit of spare time with your friends as well. And I think it's quite a interesting and also very amusing. And I think that would be what I really like.
Uh-huh. So just kind of, excuse me, the spring vacations where you really don't go anywhere. There's slang for that. That's called a staycation. So if you're on a vacation like a spring break or something and you stay at home, it's called a staycation. So which are actually quite a lot of fun actually. So how about you, Leo? What kind of vacations do you enjoy?
I like long weekends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like really long vacations, like a week or so, because I tend to get bored and I kind of get um,
Mm-hmm.
like I want to get back to work and I want to get back to my routine.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of gets a little bit suffocating for me. So I prefer just long weekends, like 3-day holiday. And I maybe I can
Yeah.
go to a neighboring town, or I can just stay
Mhm.
home and go to the movies or go
Uh-huh.
out, just that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. And Nader, also, how about could you write down what kind of vacations you enjoy? Well, Ken tells us about it. Ken, welcome.
Yes, hello.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm
All
fine.
right.
How are you?
Excellent. Very good. Thank you. Could you tell us what type of vacations do you enjoy and why, or type of holidays do you enjoy and why?
Just do how can I say? Not go far away and just stay and relax.
Uh-huh.
Do whatever what we want. I want.
Uh-huh. All right. So a lot of us actually enjoy the staycations. So where we stay close to home,
hmm
close to home, or the short trips, um, where you're not that far from home. Okay. And Nader, what kind of vacations do you enjoy? Okay, maybe he's away from his desk right now. And all right, so what we're going to do now is look at some vocabulary words regarding some traveling. We've got sightseeing, nightlife, a tourist trap, a local, rundown, the tourist trade, and standard of living. So these are some words. Good. We've got the answer to Nader. Nader says he enjoys traveling to resorts when possible. Okay, so resorts also. Yeah. Um, I enjoy traveling, period. So for me, it's in any kind of vacation, I enjoy it, so, especially when I have a lot of money. So, okay, let's go. These are words that we are going to hear in the listening portion of this class, and so it's important that you understand what it means. So, Ken, could you read letter A here and match this?
Okay. A person who lives in a particular area. A local. 4.
A local, yes. Okay. And Carlos, could you read letter B?
A place, for example, a shop or a nightclub, which sell expensive goods or service to tourists. Um, the a tourist trap.
Yes, a tourist trap. Okay, now as far as pronunciation for that, and remember in English that we have it, this would be services. Services.
Services.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Josue, could you read letter C?
Yes, it is entertainment and social activities which happen in the evening. So I think it could be nightlife.
Yes. Correct. It is nightlife. And Julio, could you read number D?
In very bad condition, needs to be repaired or rebuilt, run down.
Perfect. Perfect. And Nader, I'm going to read letter E, or actually, yeah, I'll read letter E and you can tell us what it means. The level of material comfort that people have in a particular society. Nader, if you could write that down. And while we're waiting for him to write that down, Ken, could you read number F?
Yeah, the tourism business or industry. Tourist trade.
Yes, exactly. It is the tourist trade. Is the tourist industry or business or industry. And then also the level of material comfort is letter E, standard of living. Okay. And then Carlos, could you read letter G?
Visit interesting places, especially when you are on holidays.
Okay.
Sightseeing.
All right. Excellent. Sightseeing. Okay. So, Ken, if we were to travel to Japan, could you tell us about an interesting sightseeing a trip we could go on, or a tourist trap that we might fall into?
Many foreign people went to Kyoto. Kyoto used to be a capital, and it preserved old Japanese atmosphere.
Uh-huh.
Probably
Okay.
that's why. Yeah.
Okay. So Kyoto is a good place to travel in Japan. Okay. Excellent.
I don't. Yeah, for foreigners. Yeah.
For foreigners. Okay.
I've been to Kyoto several times, but now I prefer different place.
Okay. All right. All right. And so, Carlos, could you give us one place in your area of Mexico that people might enjoy sightseeing too?
In my area, the most of the people came to the beach. There are lots of beaches,
Uh-huh.
and there are one in particular, the Puerto Peñasco, is like a beach with a lot of rocks. It's,
Mm-hmm.
they're almost nothing or sand. It's like a little piece of rock
Mm-hmm.
and almost nothing of sand.
There's not a lot of sand, just complete rocks.
Yes.
Wow. So
And
people can't go barefooted in that part of the beach,
yeah.
can they? All right. And Josue, how about Mexico City? What's a sightseeing place that people would go in Mexico City? Or a tourist trap people might get caught up in?
There are lots of things that I don't know, it's such a big city, so there are lots of things that you can do. There are lots of museums as well, so I think it could be like I don't know, maybe visiting those kinds of museums is also something interesting. I have gone several times, so I think it's the only kind of activity that I have done, like a tourist. But yeah, so
is there there's like I traveled to Mexico, just north of Mexico City, when I was 16 with a group of a bunch of teenagers, and we were there for an international conference. And all I remember about Mexico City was the churches, and it was of course right after the big earthquake as well. But it was the big churches, and then there was these big pyramids. They called it the Sun and the Moon. Is that near
yes.
Mexico City?
Yes, it is. It's a place called Teotihuacan, and there are lots of those things. And it has also it's a very touristic kind of place. It's very crowded most of the time. So that could be a point. Yes, that could be one of a specific kind of place that a tourist can visit.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean that's what I remember. Besides the place that we stayed at the 1968 Olympic Village, and I remember that. And then I remember going to some churches, and I remember the Sun and the Moon. But of course, this was like a long time ago. So, Julio, how about in your part of Mexico? What are some tourist traps or sightseeing areas that people could go to?
Well, a great place is my hometown, Veracruz. It has a really, really nice weather. It's sunny all year, and we have really great beaches. And we have you can scuba dive here. We have beautiful coral reefs, and we have many islands that you can visit. Actually, very close to Veracruz, like an hour from here, there is another city which is the capital city called Jalapa, which is very different from Veracruz because the weather there is It's cooler. It's kind of cold actually because it's a mountain city, and there you can see really beautiful churches, and it is surrounded by mountains, and the just in general the atmosphere is really like a very very small town, and the food is
Mm-hmm.
great, and you
Mm-hmm.
can do a lot of like ecotourism there. Like
Ah.
there are zip lines, and you can do rafting and trekking. A lot of nice outdoor activities there. So
Wow.
Veracruz is full of great places like for everybody.
Oh wow. I think you sold me on your area. So of course I've been to Mexico City so far. And then the area where Carlos is, the beaches, it's in the movies all the time, and maybe I need to go to Mexico again. So and
It's
then
very
Japan.
beautiful.
Japan has all the saunas or the spas. I want to go there really bad too. So, all right. Now, let's see. Does your the areas that you guys described, does it depend on the tourist trade? Carlos, do the beaches down what you described, does it depend on the tourist trade from the U.S. and from other countries?
Yes, I think there is a like a tribe the in the beaches.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, original from these beaches. So they sell a lot of traditional stuff like I don't know things made of wood, and the tourists bought all this stuff all the time.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And all right, let's go on. What we're going to do now is we're going to listen to Alice, Simon, and George as they visit a historical European town, which has become very popular with visitors in the past few years. Um, we will read the sentences below about the positive and negative effects of the recent tourism explosion, and listen to the opinions of the three visitors. We will put A next to Alice's opinion, S next to Simon's, and G's next to George, next to each sentence. So let's go ahead and read about these opinions first, and then we will listen to the conversation. So we have local local business has benefited. Um, Ken, could you read number 2?
Unemployment is lower and the standard of living has improved.
Okay, number 3, Carlos, can you read that?
The infrastructure of transport system still need a lot of work.
Yeah, so infrastructure. Infrastructure. Okay, and number 4, Josue.
Yes, it is. The nightlife attracts tourists who drink too much and behave badly.
Yeah, so drink too much and behave badly. I think that was a little bit of your British accent there. So, okay, and Julio, number 5.
The nightlife attracts tourists.
Number 5.
Number 5. Oh, sorry.
No
The
worries.
local government is able to maintain and restore all buildings.
Okay, and then new hotels look awful. And number 7, tourist traps, fast food restaurants, hotels, and souvenir shops have ruined the character of the town. So these are opinions that different people will say. So now what we're going to do is listen to this, listen or watch this. Bear with me a moment. So, Simon,
What's your opinion about the tourism explosion here?
Well, I think tourism has really benefited the local businesses. Many businesses depend on the tourist trade, and they provide jobs to plenty of people.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Unemployment is much lower than it was in the past, so that's definitely a good thing for the locals. Also, the standard of living has improved a lot since I last came here. And just take a look at all the new cafes, restaurants and shops that have appeared. There's much more choice than there was in the past. What do you think, George?
In my opinion, tourism has had a positive impact, but I think that the town's infrastructure and transport system still need a lot of work.
Yes, that's true. It's not that easy to get around. I also think that from the architectural point of view, the tourism explosion has had a negative impact. The town has some of the most beautiful medieval buildings and churches in Europe, but all these ugly new hotels that they are building look awful.
But on the other hand, the money that tourists spend helps the local government to maintain and restore the old buildings. Just a few years ago, many of these buildings looked very run down, so tourism has really helped there. On top of that, the streets are definitely cleaner and safer than before.
That may be true, but I feel the town has lost its character a bit. I mean, there are plenty of places to go sightseeing, but for me, it has been ruined by all the tourist traps, fast food restaurants, hotels, and souvenir shops.
Simon, I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I would say the character of the place has improved as a result of tourism. The nightlife is excellent. In the centre, there's such a variety of unique bars and cafes.
Well, you could be right, but many of those bars attract the kind of noisy tourist who drinks too much and behaves badly. It's not always easy to find a place where you can simply relax with your friends and have a quiet drink.
Did everybody hear that?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So, the last time I tried that, I think my internet went out or something like that. So, excellent. So now what I'd like to do is, did everybody understand what you heard?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay, so it wasn't too difficult. Okay, so let's so we said Simon said that local business has benefited. Who said that unemployment is lower and the standard of living has improved? Does anybody remember?
I think it was the girl.
Alice.
Okay. So Alice. Okay. Yes, Alice. Alice did. Okay. Okay, and then who said the infrastructure and transport system still need a lot of work?
I think that was the boy on the right. I don't remember the name.
Okay, that was George. Mm-hmm.
George. Oh yes.
Yeah, the guy Simon was on the left, Alice was in the middle, and George was on the right. Okay, and then who said the nightlife attracts tourists who drink too much and behave badly?
Simon. Simon was the guy in the suit?
I don't remember.
or was the guy taking pictures? Who was the guy taking pictures?
I don't remember.
I think it's George. I think it's George.
I just remember Simon was the one on the left-hand side.
Oh, okay, so it was Simon, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And then okay, and then the next one, the local government is able to maintain and restore old buildings. Anybody remember that one?
George.
Actually, that was Alice.
Oh, that was Alice. Damn it.
Yeah, Alice. The new hotels look awful.
George.
No, I think that was Simon.
I'm confused about.
I think what we need to do is let's read it. Because because they didn't give me the answers, but they did give me this. So let's read it and find these answers. So because the last one, as far as the hotel, I can't find it. So let's go ahead and read it. So let's do it this way. Julio, why don't you read Simon? Carlos, you read as George, and Josue, you read Alice, and I guess Ken, you can help. I guess you can just read along. So let's do that. Do it that way. Okay. So Josue, you can start.
Let me see. I think.
Oh, do you have it? Can you see it? Because I know you. I know you can't always see it.
No, it's
okay,
not.
So Ken, why don't you read Alice?
Okay. So, Simon, what's your opinion about the tourism explosion here?
I think tourism has really benefited the local businesses. Many businesses depend on the tourist trade, and they provide jobs to plenty of people.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And employment is much lower than it was in the past, so that's definitely a good thing for the locals. Also, the standard of living has improved a lot since I last came here. And just take a look at the new cafes, restaurants, and shops that have appeared. There are much more choice than there was in the past. What do you think, Josh?
In my opinion, tourism has had a positive impact, but I think that the town's infrastructure and transport system still need a lot of work.
Yes, that's true. It's not that easy to get around. I also think that from the architectural point of view, the tourism explosion has had a negative impact. The town has some of the most beautiful medieval buildings and churches in Europe, but all these ugly new hotels that they are building look awful.
But on the other hand, the money that tourists spend helps the local government to maintain and restore the old buildings. Just a few years ago, many of these buildings looked very run down, so tourism has really helped there. On top of that, the streets are definitely cleaner and safer than before.
That might be true, but I feel the town has lost its character a bit. I mean, there are plenty of places to go sightseeing, but for me, it has been ruined by all the tourist traps, fast food restaurants, hotels, and souvenir shops.
Simon, I'm not sure about that. To be honest, I will say the character of the place has improved as a result of tourism. There is a great atmosphere here in the summer. The nightlife is excellent, and the center there is such a variety of unique bars and coffees.
Well, you could be right, but many of those bars attract the kind of noisy tourists who drink too much and behaves badly. It's not always easy to find a place where you can seem to relax with your friends and have a quiet drink.
Very good. And as far as feedback, this word right here, cafes, and then also remember the S at the end of words, which got missed a few times. So, all right. So we found out who said what was it? The new hotels look awful. Does anybody remember what it is after we've seen it?
Simon.
Simon, yeah. And then tourist traps, fast food restaurants, hotels, and souvenir shops have ruined the character of the town. Who believes that?
Simon again.
Yeah, Simon again. Yeah. All right. Were there any words or phrases that you guys saw that you did not know, or you heard that you did not know?
No, well, so far so good.
Yeah, okay. All seem good. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at some some phrases that I think a lot of you guys all of you being advanced speakers, pretty much know you've run into these before, and so I think we're not going to listen to the discussion again to take the ones that you hear, because we've already done it twice. But are there any questions about any of these? Shall we read through them? I think let's read through them. So, Ken, could you read the first 3 phrases here on asking for an opinion? Could you read these phrases?
Okay. What do you think? What's your opinion? Opinion about?
So, what do you think? What's your opinion about? Okay. Carlos, could you read giving an opinion?
Giving an opinion. I think, in my opinion, I feel, I will say.
Okay, and Josue, can you read these? Can you see these? Are they too small?
Which one?
Giving additional information. I just made it bigger.
It is on top of that, and what's more?
Perfect. Okay, and then Julio, can you read introducing a context?
However, but on the other hand.
And let's see. Okay, and Ken, could you read agreeing?
I totally agree with that. That's true. Absolutely. You're right.
Okay, partially agreeing. Carlos, can you read these?
Partially agreeing. That might be true, but you could be right, but you're right up to a point, but.
Okay, and disagreeing. Josue, could you read those?
I disagree. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. You must be joking, and come on.
Yeah, I like that. You must be joking. Come on. So, all right. So, are there any questions about any of these?
No.
No. Yeah, because I think this is pretty basic for you guys. Sometimes it is more polite to disagree tentatively with someone else's opinion, even if you do not agree at all. Can you think of any situations in which you would use this tactic more than usual? So what's a place where you would agree tentatively? Anybody think of a place?
Like a place?
A person? A place or a person, somewhere where you feel like you would need to agree, be tentative, and you can kind of agree, but you don't completely agree.
I don't know if I understand the question, but do you mean like, for example, to your boss?
Yes.
I mean, you wouldn't disagree. You wouldn't disagree completely with him, but you would try to handle it politely, you know.
Exactly. And this is what this material says. It says tentative expressions of disagreement would be used more often when the speaker needs to be careful not to cause offense. For example, during a discussion with his or her boss, father, professor, people who are in authority. So when you would use, you would kind of agree, things like partially agree. That may be true, but you could be right, but, and you don't completely agree with somebody, but you kind of don't really disagree. You don't let them know of your complete disagreement. It's really what a tentative agreement is.
All right. You wouldn't tell your boss like, you're joking, come on.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
or I disagree, you know. And then I think there's some cultures where you don't really, you're not really straightforward, and you don't completely tell someone exactly what you think. You're a little bit more careful. So some families as well. So in our group, let's choose an opinion from the list below and discuss it using expressions from the lesson. then move on to another topic when you have finished, and continue until I tell you to stop. So, why don't Julio? Why don't you start and choose one of these topics and say your opinion, and everybody else respond to him with you may be, yes, but on the other hand, disagree or agree with him. So here are some different topics, and you can come up with one of your own as well.
Sure, I'm gonna pick the first one. The best films ever were made a long time ago. I totally agree with that. I think that there is nothing new under the sun, and the best plots and the best stories were written a long time ago. Uh, for example, like Romeo and Juliet, and many, many movies and stories that were written like the last century. I think that those were the best. And just new directors nowadays, they just copy and paste those stories and just change a little bit of the story and try to sell it like a new one. But I think the best ones were the old ones.
Does everybody agree or disagree?
I think I totally agree with that because I really like films from the past, like Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I don't know, all the kind of themes like The Parent Trap and so forth. I really believe those films from the past are really, really good, and like also the film from the 50s and that kind of time, I think. I really like them. I think they are classics and they are so amusing at the very same time, and also the humor, it's not very, it's like a pure kind of humor that you can understand very I don't know, very easily, and I think I find them so interesting and amusing.
In my opinion, nowadays there are also very good movies and original stories, like the Shawshank Redemption. This is a very original story, and it could be a classic movie for the future.
In my opinion, yes, still new interesting movies producing, but the problem is nowadays industry overproducing movies, and so people cannot get a piece of movie so deeply, and the copy is what's happening even in the past, because most of Shakespeare's dramas has queries. That means original book probably. So Shakespeare plays consist of other plays actually. It was not original. But the problem nowadays, I think, I said at the beginning, the industry overproducing movies again and again, so people fed up with that. And some people are shallow, not so original. That's for sure.
Also, do you think of it because of the technology that we have like Netflix and Amazon Prime, where we can stream movies all the time, that going to movies and seeing movies are not as special as it was in the past? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think so.
I beg to differ. I think that if you really want to enjoy a movie, you would go to the theater because you can see it on a big screen. And I prefer like the movies that are blockbusters or the movies that I'm really waiting for. I prefer to go to the theater and watch it there. I would never watch it on Netflix or on TV, or because I know that I will get the real experience going to the movie. So I think it depends on I think it depends on the person. I personally just watch Netflix movies that I know that are not that really good movies. Really good movies, I'd rather go to the theater.
Okay, because I remembered you were more of a theater. Somehow, some other class you had told us said that you preferred going to movie theaters. So, because I find it a waste of time if it's not a good movie. You know, I have to know for sure that it's going to be a good movie, or it has to be a kids movie and short for me to even consider going to a movie theater. But
Yeah, that's why I use like the website Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty good. You can get reviews of all the movies, and if I know that that movie has a really good review, I'll go and watch it at the theater.
Okay, yeah, all right, and let's go on. Is it Josue or Josue? I remember the last part was Zway. How do I pronounce your name?
It's like a ho.
It's like Josue.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So can you choose one of these and get a conversation going, and I'll say my piece at the end. So.
Social networking websites are a waste of time. I couldn't go for that. I would say that it is not. I think it also it depends on what people are going to visit on the internet and what they do on the internet as well. But I disagree about it. I'm not completely sure if it is or not.
Oh, come on, are you joking? I think that social media is totally a waste of time, and instead of keeping you, it kind of tries to keep you in contact with your friends and relatives, but that's not like a real serious interaction. I think that we are substituting like face-to-face interaction with just texting and messaging and posting pictures, and I think that you cannot establish long-lasting relationships through social media. So definitely they are not only a waste of time, but they are disrupting our society. So I think we should avoid them at all.
Well, in my opinion, I really believe that like I said earlier, it really depends on what you're going to do and what you're going to be doing and who you're going to be talking to and so forth. But it could be also very, very helpful and handy if you don't have like a relative nearby and you really want to I don't know, to be in contact with that person, and that I don't know. I think it's so helpful because sometimes we cannot be with the person we really want to be with, and we just must, and we only have the media for watching each other on a video call and so forth. So I think it really, really depends on what you're going to do, and obviously it can be a waste of time if you're just going to be, I don't know, looking at pictures which are nonsenses and so forth, but it depends. Well, that's my personal opinion.
I totally agree with Josue, because depends on what are you looking for. You're looking for bad content or good content. If you're looking for bad news or blood and all this stuff, you're gonna find it. But if you're looking for relatives or good news or something that can help you, you're gonna find that.
I think social media is a tool. How to use that media is tool. That tool is up to us, and I using social media, keep in touch with people who far away from here, and just killing time, and collecting news. I collected one news which I didn't know on Facebook before I attended class. So I use social media in such multiple ways. Multiple ways, sorry.
So, do you think though that the kids today who are like in their early teens, 13, 14, and teenage kids who basically are growing up with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and all these different social media sites, do you think they'll have a different social experience than those of us who didn't even have a cell phone when we were growing up? Because
one difference, in the past, we could rest with communication, and if I return to the home, my friends maybe just calling sometimes. Nowadays, they still continue communication goes on even in the room or in weekends. Yeah, that's the one difference from my childhood.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I find that's been great about social media is after I graduated high school in 1987, and after I graduated, I lost touch with a lot of the within 2 or 3 years, I lost touch with a lot of the girls that I spent a lot of time with. And now, because of social media, when I came back to the States in 2009, we all got together and you know, and have kept in frequent contact with each other. But and that is one good thing about social networking. But the bad thing about it is, I mean, are the kids really? Do they really know how to socialize? You know, do people put too much? I mean, I don't want to know every little thing that my neighbors do. You know, I don't really care to see pictures of somebody's dinner that evening.
Sure, I couldn't agree more. And I remember this situation where I have this friend and we start like being in contact with each other using social media. And he was like posting everything that he did like every single day. And when we finally got together to talk and to have a cup of coffee, we didn't have anything to talk about because we were like using social media so much. And we were face to face. We really had already talked. I mean, text each other about everything.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I've seen like young couples and even like middle-aged couples like being on a date, and everybody is like typing on their cell phone. Even complete parties like with 15 or 16 people, and everybody's like with the nose on
their
the phone, like
smartphone.
texting all the time. Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's what I think is disrupting our society. And now it's being seen like normal, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, that's the standard.
Yeah, that's or I really appreciated a couple days ago. I actually turned on my phone at when I was eating dinner with my sister's kids, and they looked at me and they said, "No electronics at the table." So they were 5 and 6 years old, and of course they're total. They love electronics, but they've made that rule in their family that they can't have electronics at the table. So I thought that was great. So, all right, let's go to the next one. I guess we're going in order. So number 3, Carlos, why don't you start on this one?
Number 3.
Or if you want to skip that and go to another one that's more interesting, it's up to you.
That one is okay. English is a very easy language to learn. I don't know what to think because from a point of view, English have 3 or 4 items like listening, speaking, grammar, and depends. Normally, listening is very easy for someone it's not, or grammar is easy for someone. In my opinion, it's not that easy.
What do you find the most? Carlos? What do you find the easiest? Listening, speaking, writing, or
the listening.
Okay.
That's the easier, and the harder the speaking.
Okay. And Julio, you can speak. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It might be true, but I think that English grammar is like really, really super easy. I mean, if I compare it with my native language, I mean, when we conjugate a verb, we have like 5 or 6 different endings for that verb, and in English it's just so easy because you only add an s if it's simple present, or if it's past, you only add an ed. So grammar is like really simple. I think the tricky part is the pronunciation, and a regular spelling of words. But once you get past that, I think it's a piece of cake.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah, I think grammar is easy, but it depends on the student. I think depends on the students. In my case, I I I find the listening easier than the grammar.
Carlos, according to language acquisition theory, when it comes to learning English, people they master reading first, as you guys know, and then the next one they master is listening. So that's why your listening is easier, and then speaking, and then writing. So that's basically this is the easiest one, then listening, then speaking, and then writing, according to a theory. I don't know if it might be differ for different people, but one thing, Finnish grammar. I wrote Finnish grammar is awful. If you look at a word and you try to figure out what the word is, so you can check the dictionary, you can't. It's like using a dictionary to learn Finnish is absolutely impossible. So, Ken, what do you think?
Yeah, the English is a very easy language to me. I didn't. Maybe I won't subscribe buffering. So for me, English, even though the compare with other languages, grammar a bit simple, but syntax and grammar and expression, the pronunciation, everything are very different from my language because two languages develop in far, kind of very far distant area on the earth. So I totally confused at the beginning when I studied English. For example, relative pronoun, my language doesn't have relative pronoun, and my language doesn't have the past perfect, present perfect, future perfect. Such kind of perfect really confuses me, and pronunciation too. I still confuse. Cannot do the C and C difference clearly. R, L, and B and V, and that's a lot of difficulty I have.
Really? You see, at least in the times you speak in these verbaling classes, you sound like you have it mastered very well. So.
Well, thank you, but I need to improve.
Yeah.
They're kind of very different from European type language, my native language.
Yeah. So. Definitely. So, Josue, what do you think about this?
I think it is a little bit easy. I think because once I tried to learn French, and I decided to give up on it because it was way too complicated, and I said no, I cannot do this anymore. So comparing French to English and English to Spanish, which is my first language, I could say that it's a little bit more easy. So I could say that I really agree with it because the verbs just have a way of being written, and if you're talking about the third person, you just must add an S, and if another kind of languages, you must change the verb on totally. So it's really complicated. So I could say that I totally agree with it. That it is an easy language to be learned.
Yeah, I agree as well. After trying to learn Finnish, it's like I think English is easy, but it isn't easy for everybody, and some people struggle with it very much. So basically, no language is easy to learn. So, all right. Well, I want to thank you all for your participation. I hope you had a good time expressing your opinions, and just realized that we actually did vocabulary, listening, speaking, and reading. It's pretty much everything. So that's not normal in a lot of these classes. So Julio, I wish you good health and that you recover well, and Ken, have a great rest of the afternoon and evening, and the rest of you three in Mexico, sleep well when you finally get there. So thank you, and I'll see you in another day. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Holly.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.